And I was like, let's write up the name of whatever we're going to build. I want to know what it does, how important it is to the customer, how much work has been done, how much work is yet to do, and is the work that needs to be done front end or back end? So user interface side or like computational back end, making it work, right?
Sure.
And then I want to go through and prioritize them. And so we go through one.
What a logical approach.
I know, it's crazy.
Man, I love it.
It took 2 days
Okay.
to walk through these. And I had nothing else to do. I just joined the company, right? This was like 3 days in. And so we start putting up the Post-it notes. And I kid you not, we covered up one wall, we covered up a second, we covered up a third, and we started on the fourth wall in the place. And at one point I was wondering if we were going to run out of walls in here. We're going to have to go to the next room or something.
Lots of ideas. Lots of
There were
started ideas.
probably 26 or so that we had done development work on, but had not gotten out the gate.
Right.
And so what I started doing is going, all right, this one is important, and it's only got 8 hours of work.
To bring it to total
so
fruition.
let's get it in the software.
Right.
Let's wrap it up.
Right.
And we started prioritizing, and then, this one's really important, but it's not as far along.
Right.
But it really is truly important, and this differentiates us from others. So let's go ahead and invest the time in it. But we started cranking out.
Yeah.
These pieces.
That's awesome.
So I think that gets to where you're starting.
No, it does. I mean, because like it's, and your approach to that, and then you're able to then not only the product side, but then you start, looking at the people and what the people are doing, what the positions and the roles that they're playing. And then what are their goals? And then how do you assign metrics to achieve those goals that all roll up to the company? I mean, it was fantastic. Like, it was nothing that I could really, I obviously didn't have the playbook for it, but also never had the time in my mind for it because, there was more products that needed to be invented, right?
There's no playbook ever for this stuff.
But
you have to make it up as you go.
But that's the thing.
But he has prior experience.
He did.
Okay.
He did.
See, that's the thing.
He came in and playbooked this thing. And it was
laid out the road.
I wish you could do a movie about the transition of the culture. We always had a really fun and invigorating culture.
Well,
and a great team.
It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
It was
Always.
fun. It's great times, and everybody's loving what we're doing. But what JS was able to do was then attach like a roadmap to it, so people knew like what's your statements on it. Like you have 3 things.
Yeah, so 4 things. So and what it really boils down to, and I learned a lot of this at Pace Industries or figured it out at Pace Industries.
Tell people what Pace Industries.
Yeah, so Pace Industries. So it's very non-Walmart, right?
Right.
So Pace Industries is aluminum, magnesium, and zinc die casting.
Okay.
So you're making components for manufacturers. So Harley Davidson's one of their top customer was when I was there. One of their top customers. Weber Gas Grills.
Okay.
Tier 2 automotive.
You guys made wheels, didn't you? Or did you?
That was Superior.
I knew
so they're very similar
too, but
it's a different process, but a very similar business.
Sure.
Right. Very similar type of business, like foundry work. It's tough work.
Right.
It's very blue collar.
I understand.
In the summer in Harrison, Arkansas, making die castings. The aluminum's 1,200 degrees.
Yeah.
And you're sitting next to a machine, and it's probably 140 degrees.
Brutal. Yeah.
Working in front of that machine.
Okay, so you were.
So anyway.
Yeah. I just wanted to give people some frame of reference.
It's great. I appreciate it.
How did you know so much about software coming from that?
Well, I had done that before. And so my first real startup was during the first internet boom, in like 98. Yeah. And I was in college at the University of Oklahoma and started a comparison shopping engine, which is so funny because it was all based on scrape data, which is what a lot of SKU Ninja tools are based on. So it was it's weird. Yeah. It's been around 20 years later. But it was software, and then I was one of the founders of Field Agent,
right?
Which was the first app that actually pays users, right? And they're still doing great here in Northwest Arkansas. But a lot of it goes back to employee engagement. And it's like, one of the, and I could throw out some crazy statistics about us, but one of the reasons we were so successful is because we retained our employees.
At Pace you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about at
White Spider. Oh, I believe it's still true.
And
absolutely.
If you're going to retain your employees, you have to have a high level of engagement, right?
Right.
And so
want to be part of the process. They want to know what's going on. It's super critical.
Yeah. And so I believe there are 4 keys to having high employee engagement. And there are a lot of other things that play into it, but 4 things are really important. Number 1, you have to have a clear vision of the goals of the company.
Amen to that.
People have to be able to understand it, and it needs to be transparent. Number two, they need to know what's expected of them.
Right.
All right. So that comes down to personal KPIs.
Yep.
Then they have to be able to see how what is expected of them contributes to the goals of the company.
Yeah.
This gives them meaning, right, and purpose.
Agreed.
And finally, they need to know where they stand at all times.
Sure.
And so if you do this, then there's a path to what I know how I'm doing. Right. I know that because I'm doing it well, I know how it contributes to the goal of the company. Yep. And so I have meaning and I have purpose, and there's a reason I'm here, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so what we did, and the fourth piece there, and know how they stand at all times, our KPIs were 90% objective metrics that they could measure.
Right.
And then 10% was, are you playing well with the team?
Sure.
Right. If you don't get the 10%, there's a problem. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's very objective, and that's very easy with sales.
Sure.
How many calls are you making? How many
it's a lot harder with developers.
What's your close ratio? What dollars brought in?
Sure.
With developers, we found some ways through like Jira software on hours and
the analytics
of things they knocked out. But it's hard because you have each different group, you have to figure out how to make it objective.
Right.
And with some, it's tough.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, I bet.
But a lot of that came that the goals of the company. It goes back to what I refer to as strategic deployment.
Yeah.
And so this is lean manufacturing, techniques, Toyota production system. This is what I learned at Pace Industries, and because we were manufacturing and automotive, and that's what you had to do back then.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I hated it there. Right. I was just gonna be honest. Like these were very long meetings, stuff that I did not feel like it was the best use of my time to sit in and hear it all the time.
Sure.
And we were doing some other stuff for the sales group within Salesforce to track metrics and stuff. And so I felt I kind of resented it back then, right?
Sure.
And so when I joined, I remember this moment where I'm thinking, what do we need here to bring this company together and have a vision and move a direction? And I was just like, crap, it's SD. Strategic deployment. We call it SD. I'm like, crap, it's SD.